Why hello there, writers, readers, and everyone in between. My name is Des, also known as ZedCaster. It's that time of year when grocery stores are coated in horrific shades of pink and red, hearts are everywhere, and your parents are still asking you why you're single. And because literally nobody asked, I'm here to share with you my opinions on popular romance tropes, so come along. I've created a tier list for 20 popular romance tropes, and I'll be ranking them with the assumption that there is some flavor of queer. At the top is Take My Money. I don't care what the genre is, I don't care if there's spice, if there's no spice, what age group. I am waiting in line on release date, and that book will be devoured. Next is If It's Queer, I'm reading it. This one's pretty self-explanatory, but if there's even just the tiniest bit of queer representation in it, the likelihood is I'll read it. The next is Hit or Miss. I might give it a try with an open mind. Maybe I'll find a secret hidden gem somewhere within the stacks. Or perhaps it will remain perpetually on my TBR that will never see the light of day. You have one job, don't fail me now. I was promised gays, my hopes are not very high. And at the bottom of the food chain is jail. I'm not buying it. I'm not borrowing it from a friend. In fact, I won't touch this with a 10-foot pole, and frankly has no place on my shelf. Now that we have our placements, it is time to introduce our 20 contestants. I have moved the camera in so you can see the board a little bit better. If that's jarring, I'm sorry. First up to the plate is teacher-student. The teacher and student trope is pretty self-explanatory. It is a teacher and a student. In my mind, the only time this is okay if it is a teacher and student aid, and that is a very different trope. We're starting off strong. Next is fake dating. I recently read The Christmas Swap. It was okay. The concept was there. It was okay. Would I read the trope again? Yes, if it had something similar and was done better. So it's hit or miss. I'll try it if there's queer in it. Next is forced proximity. Yes, allow fate to push two begrudging humans together. That is a recipe for shenanigans, and I am all about it. Next is the grumpy sunshine characters. I love a good grumpy, angry character, and then in comes the sunshine character that brings out the best in them, and you slowly start to see the growth of the characters and how the sunshine character affects the grumpy character and how the grumpy character brings out even better parts of the sunshine character, and it's a snowball effect that gets better as it ages. And honestly, the dynamic alone practically writes itself. Consider me sold. Next is right person, wrong time. I don't typically go for this, mainly because the ones I've read usually end in sadness, and I'm already sad enough as it is. And to be completely honest, I don't really believe in right person, wrong time, unless it has to deal with time travel, in which case, that's a different story. In my opinion, if you were meant to be with somebody, you would be. The end. Our next contender is Only One Bed. I'm not ashamed to admit that I really like this one. And really, if it's done well, it can be very cute. But you kind of have to be really careful about where you put this and when you put this, because if you put it somewhere too early on where they don't even barely know each other, then it's just weird and awkward. Don't do that. Next is insta-love. Unless there's a reason for it, like a magic-based system, a spell, or a curse, or like fated mates, I'm usually not gonna like it. But if it does fall under one of those, I will give it a try. Well, I put this one in the wrong spot. This one goes here. Next, we have love triangles. You really can't convince me this one's good. I know some people will argue with me and say that this is a very valid and very good trope. I simply don't agree. And also, I'm non-monogamous, so... Next up, we have Mafia. This trope is one of my guilty pleasures. I love a morally gray character, the dangerous and the deadly and the touch her and you die vibes. Most of the ones I've seen and read are the hetero ones, so if you do know of a good sapphic Mafia story, send it my way. Next is friends to enemies to lovers. Y'all have seen She-Ra, right? Give me the history. Give me the drama. Give me the lies and the betrayal and then the forgiveness and the persevering, unconditional love that comes with it. This is my shit, if done well. Moving right along to royalty. I love a good historical drama, and even more so if it's gay. Next is friends to lovers. This always feels like it falls short of the friends to enemies to lovers, but if it's done well, prove me wrong, I guess. Next up in the docket is the age gap. I more just really don't care for this trope more than anything. If the surrounding story is solid, like the world building, I'm on board. But this needs to be more than just a romance if I'm gonna read it. And the younger of the two needs to be at the bare minimum 21. If I even read that they're somewhere in high school and crushing on their best friend's mom or dad, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not touching it. Next is a good slow burn. Give me the passing looks. Give me the pining. Give me the tension. I am all over it. I will take 10 and then 10 more, please. The moments where I hold my breath wondering if they're going to have their first kiss and kicking my feet when they do, unparalleled. I've once again gotten a couple of those mixed up, so I had to move some things around. They're all in the proper places now. Next on the docket is accidental pregnancy. I'm not really about baby trapping. If the accidental pregnancy is a main component of the storyline and the story depends on this happening in order for it to get from point A to point B, I'm not reading it. And yes, you can fight me on this one. Jail. Next we have strangers to lovers. This one has a lot of potential, and depending upon the timeline, longer is better. This can be done well, and I will most of the time give it a chance. I'm running out of room. Next is one of them is famous. This one also has the potential of being done well, but at the end of the day, it's kind of just a meh. I've read some where they're just kind of cringy and terrible, but I will most of the time give it a shot if one of the main characters is queer. Unless the celebrity is like closeted, in which case, no. Just no. Next is a good forbidden romance. Lovers that are kept apart from each other by external forces within the story is just because you just know that they will do anything to be together. And that is the type of devotion that will keep me hooked on page 1. We only have 2 left on the docket, and second to last is love at first sight. This almost never works. There can be attraction at first sight, but love is developed over time. Love at first sight may work in your average Disney film, barely, but not in real life. Sorry, it just doesn't. And last, but certainly not least, my absolute favorite trope of all time, enemies to lovers. The hate to respect to friendship to trust and then attraction, then the vulnerability moment and then the resistance, and then of course finally, after everything that they went through, love. Yes, it is so good. There is a reason that The Hive is an enemies to lovers romance. And there you have it. With my opinions on popular romance tropes forever on the internet for your criticism and enjoyment, I am now going to spend the rest of this holiday curled up on my couch with a good bottle of red and a romance book. In the meantime, feel free to share your opinions of these tropes in the comments. List them in your own order. I'd love to see what you think. Until next time, my friends, keep your passions alive and may your creativity thrive. Bye. And if you have someone to snuggle up, oh god, this is gonna seem so pathetic. You know, this really should be like just a smidgen. Just come on. God, where's my wine? Next up, we have forbidden romance. No, wait, that's not the right one. What is happening to my pinky there? Crayons. In the meantime, feel free to leave your me. I'm ready to vacuum after this. I enjoy pretending to hate this holiday, but in all honesty, it's not bad. I enjoy it.